Hey guys, how's everyone doing? It is David here. I'm back with another video. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I've not forgot about you guys. I've not forgotten about this channel. So, sorry for the long hiatus. Definitely plan on uploading more. How about that prediction though? That was literally... that literally just happened. Like, that was not pre-planned at all. Like, we just started recording. And he, oh wait, no, never mind. He used Beetle. I thought he freed it. He already had the Juju on. My bad. Whoops. No prediction here. But yeah, so we got a pretty epic fire versus fire matchup. So they're both... Well, actually, Steven is 61 or 62. And Jose is like... No enchant. Where's my mouse? Yeah, it is no enchant. Jose is 65, level 65, and they're both about 1800 rank. So definitely two of the best fires in game. Yeah, two of the best legit fires in game. So yeah, I mentioned in the last Wizard101 video that I was gonna do a school tier list. So this is gonna be that video. So it's just gonna be a very casual thing where I'm gonna show you guys what the real school tier lists are. A lot of people, you know, made videos on school tier list. David. Yeah, a lot of where are you watching from? Well, how do you know I'm here if you don't know where I'm watching from? From Wizard101. Oh my goodness. He said, where am I watching from? From Wizard101. Oh man, that's funny. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so a lot of WizTubers have made school tier lists before. And I understand people want views. I mean, I want views. I mean, I would do anything for views. So I understand why they do it, but it's just really harmful, you know, for PvP when people who are not that good at PvP, or even you know, good duelists but not that good duelists, you know, when those people make videos on school tier lists and it's really not accurate for the most part. You know, it's you could say it's all for fun and games, but I personally think it's a little bit harmful, just because KingsOut doesn't know that you're not a top tier duelist. So, you know, when KingsOut watches that video, they're gonna think, oh, okay, okay, cool. Saying, you know, KingsOut doesn't know that you're just an average ass duelist who happens to be popular on YouTube because you're funny. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they might take your opinion as legitimate. You know what I'm saying? And they might make moves in the game. You know what I'm saying? They might make the wrong decisions because they think they're getting right information, but they're actually getting wrong information. So this match is actually coming down to an end. So after this match end, I'm gonna show you guys the school tier list. So it's just gonna be a casual video. It's not like one of those bang bang videos where it's like, yep, here's what the video's about. Bye. No, it's gonna be a longer casual video just because I haven't uploaded in a while, and you know, I want to just talk to you guys. So he just used a 60% mantle here. I'm not a big fan of mantles. I see a lot of you know, really good duelists use mantles, but I'm not a fan of mantles because you're not putting your fate into your own hands. You're basically saying, hey, if I lose by coin flip, so be it. So I don't like that. And you know, most people like, you know, mantle is like 50-50, but when it comes to stuns, and they're saying GG, I mean, when you're first, you basically won. If you're same school and you're first, you won. But not only am I not a fan of mantles, I'm not a fan of stuns either. I believe if you're gonna get something done, just get it done that turn. There's no need to wait a turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to execute a strategy, just execute it. There's no need to stun them first. And I know what you're saying. You might be saying, well, what about if they have a combo? Like, what if they, you know, do a damage over time, done stun, then do another hit? Um, that's fine. That's just not my style because stuns have a variation of luck, and you don't want to. You personally yourself do not want to introduce any luck into the match at all. Most people don't think of stuns as most people don't think of stuns as something that's luck, but it actually is, because almost everyone has at least 1 or 2% stun resist, and stuns usually have a high chance of fizzle, so you usually have like 3 to 5% chance of fizzling the stun, you know what I'm saying? So my signature strategy on my death, when I was playing competitively on the death in 3rd HPVP, my strategy involved it involved the overtime life dispel and feint, which was the infamous strategy that everyone's seen it by now. I mean, it has like 70k views, but you know, when you use dispel, there's 0 luck involved because it's 100% accuracy, and there's no way they can, you know, stun resist a dispel. So that's just my personal philosophy. You yourself do not want to introduce any variable factors into the match. Yeah, and I'm also good to see a lot of people in the arena. There's a lot of there's so many matches going on because of the quarantine. But yeah, so I am level 96 now. I'm questing right now. I'm either gonna stop at either 110 or 130, so we'll see about that. So that's basically the update. So now I want to bring you guys the school tier list. Okay, so that's an update that I have for you guys. That's gonna go on later. So school tier list, right? So how did I make the Wizard101 school tier list? So what I did was, so a lot of you already know this, but I made a project in January, back in January, just, you know, listing the top 100 duelists in Wizard101, because there were so many boosters, so I just decided to make a real one. Now, is this completely accurate? Absolutely not. Because it's just impossible to know 100%. It's impossible to be 100% sure, but it's as accurate as you can get, honestly. I spent at least 20 hours working on this project, so it's not perfect, but it's the best I can do. Good luck finding someone else in the community that's gonna put in 20 hours of free work. I didn't make any money off this. I mean, maybe I made like $3 off of ads on the video, but yeah, good luck finding another person that'll do 20 hours of work for free for the community. I highly doubt you will. But with that said, yeah, so how do you make a real tier list, right? So this is the first ever real Wizard101 school tier list. All the ones in the past have not been based on data. All the ones in the past have been opinions. This is the only one that's real, that's based on data. You know what I mean? What is science? You know, most of you guys learn in school. Science is just a hypothesis proven by research and proven, and it's able to be repeated by experiments. It has to be proven by an experiment and research and data, right? Otherwise, it's just an opinion. So basically, I took the so basically this has 109 people. I added 9 more just to be sure, because you never know, you might get new evidence and have to take someone out, and you don't want to have 99 people. So I just put 109 people here just to make sure. And basically, what I did was, how many people out of the 99? So basically, how many ice schools are in the top 109? How many balanced schools are in the top 109? So, and that's how you determine the real Wizard101 school tier list. Now, is this completely is this completely factual? Of course not. But this is the most factual Wizard101 school tier list that has ever been made, because this is the only one that's actually based on data. All the past have been just pure opinions. So now I would have loved to do, you know, when King's Out fixes boosting, then I would love to make another video that takes into account the top 1,000 duelists. But for now, it has to be just the top 100, because there's absolutely no way I can do. There's absolutely no way I can do any more work than I've already done. 109 people is a lot of people, and we weeded through hundreds of people to find these top 109 real people. Basically, I'm just gonna dive right into it. The school tier list. You know, most of you are gonna know what the first school is, so no surprise there. And that's Ice. So Ice came in at number 1 with 35. So you know, 35 duelists out of the top 109 were Ice's. So they came in first, and you know, everyone already knows this. Kingzao, if you're watching, I hope you're not surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if you are surprised. So I don't got anything to say. I mean, there's really no explanation needed about why Ice is so overpowered. I guess I could explain it just for Kingzao, but I'm not going to, because all of you guys know. So why would I explain to like maybe 1 or 2 people from Kingzao watching when the rest of you already know? You know what I'm saying? This is Kingzao's company, so why do I need to explain their game to them? So, not even gonna explain. The second school might surprise some of you guys. It doesn't surprise any top tier duelists. Like, all of us top tier duelists knows what the second and third school are, best school are. But even some top tier duelists might put, you know, number 3 as number 2 and number 2 as number 3. So you guys, some people might mix it up. It was never a question to me. I mean, you know what? Actually, it was. You know, number 2 and 3 is very interchangeable. I personally also have a hard time distinguishing between what is the second and third best school. But what does the data say? The data says that the second best school is Life at 24 duelists in the top 109. So, you know, a very comfortable margin, 32.11%. And Life coming in second at 22.02%. Now, I am aware of the fact that a lot of people in the Max community have said that Life at Max levels is not that good. However, you have to take this holistically. It's impossible to say, oh, these are the school tier lists for level 130. These are the school tier lists for level 100. These are the school tier lists for level 60. These are the school tier lists for level 10. That's just absolutely impossible. It's impossible to just slice and dice it up with so many school level tiers, right? So you have to take it holistically. And holistically, Life is very dominant at mid levels, and even low levels. High levels, I've heard people say they're not good at high levels. I cannot confirm or deny that fact because I've never done Life PvP at high levels. But, you know, the data is the data and the facts are the facts. Now, number 3, everybody knows what number 3 is. If you don't, then you might need to brush up on your fundamentals. But yeah, so number 3 is Balance. Not even a close third. There is a little bit of a distance. Ice just pulls away, but Balance, you have 19 out of 109, so coming out at 17.43%. Balance is a Balance is a tricky school. I understand Lore Master was the single most broken non-shadow spell in game, so you could just spam that, but not everyone spammed Lore Master. Some people play Balance very strategically, and it's a very nuanced school, and I would say a factor that's usually that people usually discount is the element of surprise. So, you know, when I was moving up and trying to be the number 1 duelist on a death, I relied on the element of surprise. Like, if I duel now, there's no way I can do much just because everyone's seen my strategy, right? But back then, I really heavily relied on the element of surprise. And Balance has a lot of element of surprise because you either know they're gonna lore spam or you don't know what they're gonna do at all. Yeah, you just don't know what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say your pet casts Infallible Fortify. You don't know if they're gonna pop it. You don't know if they're gonna mana burn. Like, you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know if they're gonna minion. So they have a lot of versatility, which I believe is a key factor in strategy. Just are you versatile? Like, can you change things up when things don't go your way? Let me just spin here so I don't go AFK. Well, I already moved it, so that should give me more time. But anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so, you know, versatility is a big deal when it comes to strategy, because every match is different. So when you're put in a bad spot, can you adapt? You know what I'm saying? Can you switch strategies mid-match? And Balance has a lot of versatility. Of course, just because they're in the middle, so they're meant to be versatile. And the fourth one, I don't think anyone can guess what the fourth one is. I was personally pretty surprised when I looked at it. The top three, most top tier duelists know, but after that, it gets really wishy-washy, and you know, no one really knows what the fourth one is. But what does the data say? The data says it's actually death, which I know a lot of people are probably surprised by that. I'm personally surprised by it. For the OG viewers, you guys know that I was formerly the #1 ranked duelist in Game on a Death, but only for literally 20 minutes. And that's the best I could do. I could touch the #1 spot, but there's no way I could keep it, because, you know, 2 through 10 was all level 50 ices at, in that third age meta, and there was no way I could compete with the ices, just because, well, just because of this, absolutely. But anyways, yeah, so, you know, I talk trash about death a lot, just because, I don't know, when it's your own school, you know, you like to talk trash about your own school. That's just how it is. So I talk a lot of trash about it, but this makes sense. Death is actually like a middle tier school. They're not that bad, you know what I'm saying? So, I definitely think, you know, Headless Horseman raise the death school, you know, above a tier, at least above 1 tier. Headless is very strong. I personally don't use it, but it's very strong and it's a very good spell. And you know, it's very interesting to see next age what effect that nerfs on life will have, and the nerf on balance, of course, on Lore Master. It's very interesting to see what will happen in 5th age when they fix boosting, if life and balance can keep that #2 and #3 spots. I know Magnetics have said on Twitter that balance win percentage has not changed since lore nerf, and I do believe it, because balance is just such a versatile school, like I said before. Life is a little bit less versatile. They're a little bit more reliant on defense, which is why they do bad in max levels, because at max there's no defense, you know, you just slug it out. Yeah, anyways, so yep, Death at #4. Death is a very interesting school. I would say Death is like Storm in that they do a lot of damage, but they also do not have the weaknesses of Storm, which is Death has an overtime. Death has many overtimes actually, and Death also has a decent amount of health. I believe the most important factor when it comes to school tier list is health, because every other stat is very similar in Wizard101. You know, every other stat is very, very similar. The only big difference that differentiates these schools is the amount of health you have. Ice has the most health. Life has the second most health. Balance, I believe, has the third most health, and Death, I believe, has the fourth most health. So the top 4 aligns exactly with the amount of health you have. So I personally believe that's the most important factor. This is something I've known for a long time, but I just never shared with the public, because you know, I can't share everything with the public, you know what I'm saying, or else I will lose my edge. I don't really care that much anymore, but you know, at the time when I was active on YouTube, I was also actively a competitive player who was vying for, you know, a top 5, top 10 spot in game. So because I was actively a competitive player, I couldn't just tell all my secrets, you know what I mean? I couldn't just be like, yo, the most important stat in Wizard101 is health. You know what I'm saying? Because then everybody will make an ice, everybody will make a life, everybody will make a, you know, balance, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, not necessarily, you know, you like the school that you like, but, you know, the point is, a lot of these stuff that I've always known, I just, you know, didn't share. And I know you might be saying, come on, David, you know, you're supposed to help us out, you know. I help you guys out a lot. I tell you almost everything I know. It's just there's a very small slice of the pie that I keep to myself. but it's very small. Like 90% to 95% of the pie I share with you guys. So very small slice of the knowledge pie that I keep to myself. So number 5, again, number 5 is probably something no one can predict. I mean, outside of the top 3, I cannot predict the bottom 4. But the data says number 5 is Myth. Now this stat is a little bit tricky just because there's so few people. There's only 7, so it's like if one booster is on there, then that completely changes everything. So Jesse Don is someone that I've never seen PvP, and I don't think he's legit, but I still put him on there just because, you know, there was no conclusive evidence that he boosted, so I just kept him on there. But yeah, Myth is in 5th place. Myth is not a good school, let me just tell you. As a Myth player myself, Myth is not a good school. So, you know, for the real old OGs, you guys would know that in first stage PvP, when level 50 was the cap, Myth was actually the best school in game. That was when Ice wasn't super broken. So the reason that Myth was the best school in first stage was because back then, Myth's specialty is minions, right? And in first stage PvP, when level cap was 50, when people had really low damage, minions were a huge part of the game, right? If you had a good minion, if you had a minion up, you were going to win the match, right? The match was really about who can kill the other person's minion first, or I mean, who could keep the other person's minions down. That was a key factor of first stage PvP. Nowadays, you literally like a 2-pip Scorpion kills a Talos without critical. You know what I'm saying? So minions are a non-factor now, and that's a shame because minions are a huge strategy factor. But anyways, I'm going off topic. But anyways, yeah, in first stage Myth was the best win game just because minions were a huge factor and they had the best minions. So Cyclops was the gold standard of competitive PvP. Just like in 3rd and 4th age PvP, Lord of Winter is the gold standard of PvP. Cyclops minion was the gold standard of first stage PvP. It was what you wanted to see. But anyways, yep, so Myth rounds out at 5th. Not much to say about it, just because 5th, 6th, 7th are so similar. There's not much differentiation. But 6th is Storm, coming out at 5 duelists out of the 109 at 4.2%. Storm has actually gotten a lot of improvements. Storm used to be the unquestioned worst win game and wasn't even close. Like in 1st and 2nd age, and maybe even 3rd age, you would maybe have 1 or 2 Storms in the top 100. At best, 1 or 2. So the fact that it moved up to 5 really speaks to KingsOut realizing, hey, Storm fucking sucks. I'm sorry for cursing. KingsOut realizing, hey, Storm sucks. You know, we need to boost it, right? And so they did boost it. They gave him Calypso, Calypso is really OP. That Kraken spell that takes away Blaze is really strong as well. So Storm definitely, but mostly just Calypso. So Storm is really, I mean, don't get it wrong. Storm is and always will be a bottom tier school, just because if you were paying attention, the most important stat when it comes to how good a school is health, and Storm has the lowest health, and that can't be changed. So because that's just the fundamentals of the game, you know, the fundamentals of the game, and Storm has lowest health because they have strong, quote unquote, strongest attacks. Yeah, anyways, I mean, they technically do on paper have the strongest attacks, but that's not how the game works. Even if you do have 10% more damage, even if your spells does like 200 more damage, one blade cancels that out. In fact, it doesn't just cancel it out. Like one 40% ice blade is twice as much as the extra gear damage and extra card damage that comes for Storm. You know what I'm saying? That's so easily, one turn cancels that out. One turn cancels that out. Not just cancel it out. One turn makes them have twice as much damage as your damage differential. It's a really nuanced and complicated subject. If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, then you just won't get it, no matter how much I explain it. Maybe watch the video back again. So damage is easily made up, and not just made up, but surpassed. You know what I'm saying? Like an ice with 2 blades easily do more damage than a storm could ever do, because storms can't even blade because they don't have damage over times. But you get the point. Damage can be easily made up, whereas health is impossible to make up because you cannot go above your max health. So that's why health is the single most important stat when it comes to school tier lists. And the last place is, of course, one left, fire. So fire and storm is really a toss-up. You could really interchange these. So there's 4 duelists out here, making it 3.67%. Now, there's a lot of delusional people in Wizard101. I've gotten into a lot of, Twitter spats with people. Like when I try to tell people, hey, fire needs a buff, fire sucks, and I get like some random duelists on Twitter, or even some good duelists on Twitter talking about, oh, fire's OP, fire's OP, and it really, like, most of the times I'm able to ignore it, but sometimes I crack and I clap back just because it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when people who it's just frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Like, statistically proven by this data, at least, the worst school in game, and you guys on Twitter are talking about nerf fire, and it really is frustrating for me because it just really is frustrating to me. I personally I haven't actually been locked out. Oh snap, shout out to the Wolf Lotus. That was random. But yeah, shout out to Wolf Lotus. Got the nice pet going on here. I think he's AFK, but I'm gonna log out. So, I personally have a fire, so I can tell you guys how bad it is, right? I can show you guys the record. Now, you could say I'm rusty, and that'd be true, but I was still a former #1 duelist in the game. You know what I'm saying? This is the best I can do on a fire. So, and this is actually a really good record, but, it's not up to my standards just because, it's storm. I mean, not storm, it's fire, you know what I'm saying? Fire is very difficult to play with. And I don't really want to go into detail and explain it, just because, you know what, I'll explain it. The reason is because fire is very, I'm not going to explain it. The data is here. You can feel free to argue, by the way. I mean, feel free to argue, you know what I'm saying? This is not 100% right. It's as right as it can get, but it's not 100% right. So feel free to give me your opinions. And I'll just touch on it a little bit. It's because fire is really tricky to play. Like, damage over times, yes, fire has damage over time, but every fire damage over time hit is an AoE, so it's an attack all enemy spell, which means it's a weak spell because attack all enemy spells are weaker, and every PvP match is 1v1. So people say, oh, but you have damage over times and that's good. That's not good. In my PvP philosophy is the fundamentals of PvP is speed, right? So that's my style. I'm an aggressive pressure fighter. I put the pressure on people, and my offense is my defense. To put so much pressure on you that you yourself cannot set up to kill me. So in turn, my offense is my defense. It's that Pacquiao style fighting. That's my style. It might not be your style, but then again, fire can't tank, so that has to be your style. There's 2 popular styles that top tier duelists use: the pressure fighter style and the Mayweather defense style, where you're just tanking forever, but not forever, but you're just really defensive and you take your time to set up and make sure you kill them. So fire can't do the latter because they don't have the health, and fire can't do the former. They can't pressure you because overtimes take time, and time is of the essence in PvP. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you use the damage over time, you're wasting time. You know what I'm saying? Because that damage is only gonna finish in 3 turns, whereas your opponent might have 2 ticks left, or even 1 tick left, and that tick might literally kill them. But guess what? They use a single damage hit that does all the damage in 1 turn, and they can kill you that turn. So speed is of the essence in PvP, at least if you're a pressure fighter. So damage over time are no good. And let's look at the fire's just not compatible. Like Storm has such powerful spells that you could just YOLO it. But fire, you can't YOLO it because your spells are not that powerful, and it's really tricky to set up because fire has a good minion, but if you use your minion, you can't trap stack. You know what I'm saying? And if you trap stack and they shield, then what you do? You know what I'm saying? If you use the damage over time to get rid of the shield, then you get rid of your traps. Same thing, and then when it comes to blades, if you use a blade and they shield, what do? You might say damage over time. But all fire damage over times are AoE, so they're weak. So you don't want to use fire over times. The only time you use fire over times is if you're trying to get rid of shields. But if you have a blade, then you're not trying to get rid of shields. You're trying to kill. You know what I'm saying? So it's so nuanced, and everything interjects with each other. Every factor gets in the way of the other factor. So that's why fire is, in my opinion, a really bad school. I never actually explained to this extent to people on Twitter, just because, you know what I'm saying, that was like a 5-minute rant. That's a lot to type out, you know what I'm saying? So I can't waste my effort to explain this fact to everyone, so I'm gonna say it in this video so people can know. And that's not even all, but that's all I'm gonna say for, you know, for time's sake about fire. But anyways, yeah, these are the and another thing, you know what I'm saying, when a certain WizTuber who is really big, and they tell King Zhao you need to nerf Burning Rampage, and King Zhao does nerf Burning Rampage, you know, what does that do for the game? What does that do for the meta? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna call him out. I'm just gonna call him out. Awesome the Sauce is not a top tier duelist. Alright. Now, I know, you know, he's very popular, but he is... I need to drink water. 1 second. I've been talking too long, so I needed a drink of water. But Awesome the Sauce is at best a great duelist. I personally think he's just a good duelist, but you know, you can make an argument that he's actually a great duelist, but no one can make an argument he's a top tier duelist. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't understand the intricacies and nuances of competitive PvP. Sorry, I've been talking for like 20-30 minutes straight, so my throat is dry. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so, you know, when he talks about PvP, like, oh, this needs to be boosted, this needs to be buffed, this needs to be nerfed, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't know what he's talking about. So, you know, I don't want to tell him to just stop speaking on it just because, you know, he has freedom of speech, but, you know, it hurts the game. When you tell King Zhao to nerf Rampage, it hurts the health of the game. And my throat is dry. I'm not sick. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so, you know, this is the school tier list based on data. Now, in 5th age PvP, when they reset boards and fix boosting once and for all, I don't have to do all this work. Alright, I spent 22 hours. I spent 20 hours doing these leaderboards, and an hour or two making a school tier list. Alright, so before you hate, just understand the amount of work I put in for you guys. Alright, this is not for me. Alright, well, I don't need to see a Wizard101 school tier list, but you might need to see it, because you might, you know, you might think fire is a really good school, and you might, you know, waste a month of time, a bunch of money on crowns to buy Pierce Jewels to make a fire just to realize it sucks. You know what I'm saying? I don't need this. You need this. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of you know, delusional people in this game that tell you that fire is good. But anyways, and you know, the list is here, so you know, you can pause the video if you want it. Here's the list. You know, here is the proof. You know, there's no funny business. So yeah, that's basically the video. Before I wrap this up, I just want to let you guys know, update you guys on my Twitter. You can follow me on DavidXLotus if you want. It's not necessarily a Wizard101 Twitter, but I do post some Wizard101 stuff and some real life stuff. But yeah, so I don't know what this thread was about. It was from Michael. Can PvP be #1 priority? Yeah, so PvP is a priority. They just don't do a number 1. But anyways, the point is, so I said the reason every duelist I know stopped playing is because rank is not something you can infinitely increase, my bad. Every school/level has a plateau, and once you hit it, there's no point to keep going, especially when there's 200 boosters above you on boards, so you get no recognition, which is so true. Alright, if my channel wasn't a thing, nobody would get recognition. No top tier duelists would get recognition. Anyways, so you know, Ratbeer is Van, so he is the design lead at King's Entertainment, so I really appreciate him for you know, replying to my feedback. But anyways, he said, we have some ideas of matchmaking that should address boosting, though I have learned to never underestimate the cunning of the most malevolent players. More regular rank slash season resets can also help, but how often is too often? So what I would say to that is, I don't know if more regular rank season resets actually does help, because you know, you just contradict yourself. You said the most malevolent players, you can never underestimate them. So they might really just put in the work and boost every season. Even if you reset it like every 3 weeks, they will put in the work and boost every 3 weeks. But the point is, you know, you need a firm system that just inherently eliminates boosting thoroughly. You can't rely on regular rank season resets that alone won't do it. But will it help? Yeah, I guess it'll help a little bit. So, you know, I guess he's right at the end of the day. But anyways, I said, thank you for the response and for asking for my opinion. People don't care if someone boosts a 900 rank to get the Warlord robe. People are only angry at people that boost on the leaderboards because they are taking a spot that a legit duelist otherwise would have. Competitive PvP is not easy. I started in 2009, and up until 2014, I was fighting for literally the last spot on leaderboards, number 1000. It needs to be earned. As long as people can boost to be on the leaderboards, then it's... As long as people can't boost to be on the leaderboards, then it's fine. That should be very doable for you. So what I was saying was, so he's basically saying he probably can't completely eliminate boosting, and I said that's completely fine. The goal shouldn't be to completely eliminate boosting, because at the end of the day, you can't stop someone from making 2 accounts, exact same level, exact same rank, and facing each other. You can't stop people from facing each other. But you don't have to stop people from facing each other. Nobody cares if someone boosts to 900 rank to get a Warlord robe. People only care if someone boosts to get on the leaderboards, because they're taking someone's spot, right? They're taking someone's spot. That's what people don't understand. Like, for 5 years of PvP, after 5 years of PvP, I was literally fighting for the 1000 spot on leaderboards, right? Like, Sophia Coin and I were literally fighting for the last 1000th spot on the leaderboards, right? When Sophia got on the leaderboards at number 1000, she took a screenshot of it, because that's how hard it was. Alright, we both took turns knocking each other off just because it was so hard to get on, right? Competitive PvP is not easy. There's probably 200 people, there's probably 200 legit duelists that should be on the leaderboards, but they're not because a booster took their spot. This stuff is not easy, and it has to be earned. And then I said, as far as season resets, I say every 3 to 9 months is ideal. Anything less than 3 months is too soon, in my opinion. The leaderboards itself takes at least 6 months to fully materialize. Rank is not easy, and it takes literally a full year of daily hard work to be number 1 legit. So yeah, I say like 6 months is ideal. And I just want to clarify, when I say 6 months to fully materialize, that means before... In the first, second, third, fourth, fifth months, there's a lot of movement going on of people, you know, switching places. But around the 6 months mark is when rank solidifies and you don't see that much moving, at least not at the top. And when I say it takes a full year of daily hard work to be number 1, so you might be thinking, so what are you talking about? If it takes 6 months for a leaderboard to materialize, now how could it take a year for you to be number 1 if it's already materialized? So I should have made this clear. What I meant was, if you're starting from 500 rank and trying to be number 1 in a already materialized leaderboards, so after after 6 months after reset, then it takes about a year to climb from 500 to number 1, because I actually did that on my level 50 life Cody Moonblade. The leaderboards was already 6 months in and already materialized, and I had to start from 500 and start from scratch. Now, I couldn't visually be #1 just because by that time there was already so many boosters. But, you know, you guys already know the story. But anyways, yeah, so Van responded, not to be contrary. So I really appreciate him saying not to be contrary. He really doesn't like to argue. I'm not that argumentative, unless it's with like just a really ignorant person on Twitter. Then I can be, because ignorance pisses me off. When you say something dumb to me and you say it like you know what you're talking about, then yeah, I get pissed off and I might go off on you. But anyways, yeah, I'm not that argumentative, but I really appreciate Van, you know, not trying to start arguments and trying to keep this constructive. But he said, but this does assume that rank is getting lost the same way in the next age as it is currently, and I don't necessarily know if that will be the case. Elo has issues as the player pool ages, but it might work very well with shorter seasons. So he's saying basically the way you gain rank might change. I don't know what to say about that, just because, you know, I don't know how that will impact the game. But, you know, basically what the tone that he's trying to say is, when I say less than 3 months is too soon, he's basically disagreeing with that, saying less than 3 months is not too soon. So, I mean, he has his opinion, I have my opinion. At the end of the day, of course, his opinion is gonna matter, and mine's really doesn't matter, but, you know, I still let him know my opinion. And, you know, I wrapped it up by saying, you are the expert in game theory, so whatever decisions you make, I will support. The only premise you should know is duelists have worked on their crafts for years to get to their level of skill, and when a little kid faces himself and gets past us in a week, it's gut-wrenching. So just reminding him on why he needs to fight for this. But yeah, so that's basically the tweet. You know, it's very exciting stuff. You know, King Zhao in 5th age PvP is for sure going to fix boosting. So it's very exciting stuff. So definitely look forward to that. And I just want to wrap up this video. I know it's a super long video already, but I have to wrap up this video by giving shoutouts to people in the Lotus clan. So, you know, people, I already shouted out a lot. I have already shouted out a lot of Lotus people just because they're in the top 100 duelists in game. But a lot of people aren't, and that's fine. It's fucking hard to get in the top 100. It takes years and years of work. But yeah, so just want to give shout outs to Aiden, Alex, Alexis. These are different Alexis. Alicia, Andrew, Anna, Blake, Brandon, Chris, Connor, Daniel, David, Devin, Dylan, Edward, Eric, Ethan, Garrett, Isaiah, Jason, Jordan, Juan, Kenneth, Kyle, Michael, Molly, Morgan, Nathan, Nicholas, Oren, Richard, Scarlett, Sierra, Stefan, Sydney, Tatiana, Trevor, Tyler, and Valerian. So want to give shout out to all of you guys. I also want to give you I also have people added on my Cody Moonblade. Now these are the OGs. I never even get on this character, so I do apologize. Please feel free to delete me, because I won't get on in the future either. But these are the OGs. These are the people that made Lotus characters before I made my Lotus character. So these are the OGs. So we got and it might be some of the same people, but yeah, we got Aaron, Alejandro, Andrew, Anna, of course, Anthony, Austin, Brahm, David, Ellie, Eric, Isaiah, Jack, Jonathan, and I'm gonna change all these to PvP signs, by the way. So bear with me. Just because it's more appropriate, because it's a PvP clan. So, yeah. Anyways, where am I at? So, yeah. Probably should have done this before, but anyways, yeah. Where was I? Jonathan. I don't know if I said him. Kevin. Michael. Molly. Morgan. Nathan. Scarlett. Shout out to Scott, the YouTuber. He did quit Wiz, but he was a OG. We actually made a collab, but I think we had like mic issues and we never got it done. But we were planning to collab. Shout out to Sophia Coin. And let's see, Talon, the former #1 duelist in the game. Valerian. So yeah, so that's basically everybody. I wanna, yeah, Wolfwall, he doesn't play anymore, but you know, this guy is just a random guy. I came back into the game and he helped me hatch a pet. So I got this infamous Life Minotaur from Wolf Wild. I assume he quit the game a long time ago, but he was like he was a pet enthusiast. He had a ton of perfect pets. And I just randomly asked, hey, can we hatch? And he said, yeah. So he hatched with me 3 times, and he didn't even know me. So really brought me back to the old days of Wizard101, where just random people would just help you out for no reason. Like my first ever mount, back when mounts can only be bought with crowns. My first ever mount, someone gifted me. You know what I'm saying? It was a friend who I helped that guy quest for literally like an entire year. He was like, hey, if you help me quest to max, which was level 50 at the time, he was like, if you help me quest to max, then I'll give you a mount. My mom's buying me crowns for my birthday, blah blah. So at first he was gonna gift me like a kind of expensive mount, but he ended up gifting me, and I'll never forget, he gifted me a chestnut pony that was only 5,000 crowns. It was the cheapest mount in game. He was like, you know what, my bad, I had to buy other things with crowns, so I can't buy you that expensive mount, but I'll still buy you that chestnut pony. And I was really grateful, because I was walking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And it took a while to walk everywhere, and I was so happy to get that chestnut pony mount. Because I was a little kid, I didn't have money to buy crowns. But yeah, so that's how I got my first mounts. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, and shout out, no online friends. Shout out to my future wife, Anna. Yeah, so I'm really grateful for this game. I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful to find my wife. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is a long video, but in my defense, I haven't uploaded in like a month. So, you know, I'm giving you guys what you want. You know, a long ass episode. So you're really gonna hope you really enjoy this video. So hopefully this makes up for the long hiatus. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoy making this video, honestly. So thank you so much for watching. Yep. Make sure, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do upload, guys. I do plan on uploading a lot more. I've been very busy. I got a new job. So I work, you know, a full-time job, and I have a business on the side. And you know, it's like a corporate job, and I'm smashing records. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm smashing records. In the real world, there is no cheating. You know what I'm saying? So I really, you know, I'm definitely setting records there for new hires at the company. So I'm doing well at work. You know, making bank. I've decided to just hire someone part-time for my business. So, you know, definitely will have more time to upload. I think I'm definitely gonna upload at least once a week now. At the very least, I'm gonna aim for twice a week, but at least once a week. So let me just get out this character, because I don't even use Cody anymore. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. This is the Wizard101 school tier list. Wizard101 school tier list. Let me just maximize this so I can use it for the thumbnail. So, yep, this is the Wizard101 school tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Make sure to thumbs up and like it if you enjoyed it. Make sure to let me know in the comments of what you think. I'm open to all suggestions and opinions. So, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. And, yeah, until next time, see ya.